beautiful day.
Yeah, hot day. Coach McGovern, is he going to be up in the box or is he going to be on the sideline?
Billy will be in the box.
Okay, what have been your impressions of what he's done teaching-wise with these guys and what he's brought to the defense?
I think they've done all those guys, and I look at the defense collectively. So, we've got a couple new faces with the Kaika and Chad and Ken and Billy to go along with Brian, who's here before. So, I think they've meshed really well as a group. I think they've done a really good job of presenting a package to our defense that I think our kids up front at the second level and the secondary understand. They got a pretty good grasp of what we're doing. I think they've been really conscious of what they put in, make sure we understand it and grasp it, before we move on to the next step. There's building blocks in terms of how we're doing things. But I've been really impressed with how our defense has played through spring and then through preseason camp, and now we get a chance to get tested on Saturday, our first real test against another team. But I've been impressed with all those guys.
Alex Johnson got number 36. Can you talk about
He did. Obviously, it's a really cool tradition here, honoring one of the former great walk-ons here. We just continued that tradition when we took over. I had heard about Nick, and we have Danny Fields and Jerry Neuheisel on our staff who had a chance to play with Nick, and I just thought it was what a great idea to do. We've had some great kids. Ethan was fortunate. It was really cool that Ethan got a chance to present it to him, even though he was in camp with the Colts. A chance to talk about it. Make sure everybody understands what that award is about. That's Alex. He's given everything to his football. He's graduated in 4 years. He's in grad school now. Plays a significant amount of snaps for us on special teams and plays in our sub packages on defense. And he's done a great job. And he's, I know he'll tell you it's an honor to wear it, but there was no more fitting guy to be that guy than Alex.
Does that come with a scholarship or no?
It's not tied to that.
Okay.
How much of a transition has it been with the new defensive coaches? When you said installation, learning a lot from last year, how big of a difference was it?
It hasn't been a big difference at all. I think they did a really good job of putting together a package. There's a lot of carryover from what we've done before, especially terminology-wise. There may be a tweak here or there. We may have called it this, and the will linebacker plays it a little bit differently from a technique standpoint. But I think all those guys blended really, really well. The fact that Brian was here and understood, what we've done in the past. I think whenever you're where we are at that point in time, you want to be conscious not to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Let's keep the things we've done really well, and let's improve the things we need to get better at. And I think that's what those guys have done.
Is JonJon the guy at that will spot?
There's a bunch of guys playing there. So JonJon's playing there, CBS is playing there, Kane's playing there. So you'll see a lot of guys rotating through there. And we're going to have to play a lot of guys on Saturday. So, obviously, weather will dictate that, but that had been our plan all along. So.
JonJon was at the top of your 2-deep that you released. He wasn't here for spring. What have you seen from him this fall?
JonJon's a football player, and it was funny. I was with John Savage a couple nights ago at a function here, and it was the same thing. He's just got a great football mind. He's got a great athletic mind. He picks things up very, very quickly. It really didn't seem like you're 2 days into fall practice and preseason camp, and it's not like, wow, this kid wasn't here for the entire spring. It's he just kind of picked up where he left off last December, and really hasn't missed a beat. So really excited, where he is. This will be year 3 with him. He transitioned from being safety in high school and started off as a safety here, and then has moved into the linebacker spot and done a nice job for us. So we're hoping he takes another step this fall.
Are there any tendencies that you see in JonJon that come over from baseball, like something that his footwork is different or better, or his instincts for the ball?
At 3-2 count. And he's got one thing I do notice about all baseball players, and I think they have a great ability, and it's a great question, they can shake things off a lot easier than maybe a football player, because they have so many opportunities, and success in baseball is being 3 for 10. You're hitting 300, and that's a good day. And if you're 3 for 10 in football, then you're probably not going to be on the field. But I think his ability to move on to the next play is a really important thing. And I think all great competitors know how to respond. Once an event happens, learn from what that event was, but then move on to the next event. And I think he's done a really good job of that. That's why it's to some guys, I wasn't here for the spring. That's a really big deal. To JonJon, that's not a big deal. He's been used to playing sports his entire life, and in the fall he does this, and in the spring he does this, and in the fall he transitions back. So where we may be concerned as coaches, because this is just our world in football, of he wasn't here for the spring, he came in here it wasn't a big deal to him. He didn't act like it was a big deal, and he picked up right away. So I think kind of his approach to things, and maybe it's more of a baseball player mindset of, you just got to go on to the next play, got to go to the next at bat, got to go to the next swing, has really helped him transition into what we're doing now. So
Was he in the playbook during baseball, or
I don't know.
did he wait
That's
till
a good
summer?
question. That's a good question for him. I'm not sure if he was or wasn't. So, but I know he knows it now. And he's done a really nice job this camp with it. So.
Offensively, Kaz Allen, Cam Brown, possibly bigger roles this season in the offense. What do you see out of them and what they can bring?
Yeah, I mean, obviously with Kaz, you got a guy who's got outstanding speed. And I think we've known that since he's come in here and tried to put him in different situations. He's done a great job for us kick returning. And he's really done a good job as we transition him out to wideout, as being able to stretch the defense and get behind people. And we've hit a couple balls over the top to him. Hawaii, we did in the opener a year ago, and he had a big one against USC in that game. So I think his ability to kind of stretch the defense is a really big deal for us. But we also have, he can do some other things too. So, we're using him in the slot a little bit more this year. He didn't play much slot last year because we had Kyle, and with Kyle down to Tennessee, to the Titans, kind of opened up a spot from there, and he's handled that, really moved into that role in the springtime, and he did a really nice job with it. So looking forward from there. And then Cam, the more reps you get, the more seasoned he gets, the better he is. So, we're expecting big things out of Cam also.
You had Peterson is listed as running back now, and another tight end. Is there anything to that? Or
Carson Ryan. Yeah, that's what they're playing right now.
Oh, how did that kind of come about?
Well, we have a lot of depth at tight end, so trying to get those guys on the field and doing some different things. So, they're bigger. They're not the taller, longer bodies, like a Hudson or a Zeke. They've handled that transition very well. So.
Was that at their request, or was that?
No, that's our football request. They want to get on the field, so just trying to maximize their skill set.
The walk-ons who are earning scholarships, is that something that's been announced yet to them, or is that between now and Saturday?
Yeah, it's been announced to them. So Nick Barmera, Jack Lander, Alex Johnson, Josiah Norwood, Carson Schlesinger, and David Magno went on scholarship. They all earned it because they're all playing for us now and playing significant roles for us. So those 6 guys have earned scholarships.
Is that something that's announced in like a full team meeting, or is that private? Okay.
It's announced in the team meeting the other night.
Does that get you up to 85, or where
We're
you
in the low 80s right now.
Carson's from Oaks Christian, and I know Zach went there too. So just
Bo Calvert went there. Shea Pitts went there. We got a lot of Oaks guys.
Yeah. What does Oaks Christian do to really prepare their guys? Like, what kind of guys come from that school?
I think kids that are prepared both academically and athletically. I think it's a great school academically. So a kid who's a graduate of there, obviously this is a really good school academically, can handle the course load. Shea's a great example. Shea's graduated from here in 3 years with an undergrad degree in political science. He's graduated, already has a master's degree in our School of Education, and now he's working on a second master's degree in legal studies. So, he's kind of a prime example of what an Oaks kid is like. But whether it's Bo or Shea or Zach or Carson, they're dialed into football. They want to be successful both athletically and academically, and Charlie's done a really good job, with that program over there. So whenever we know we're getting a really well-coached kid when he comes from that program, but we also know we're getting a kid that's, really solid when it comes to the academic side of things, because of what a great job they do preparing the kids for it. So.
Jake Boat.
All right, thanks guys.